As I said before, there is this idea of climate anxiety. We'll visit it again a little bit, but it's obvious now, especially children, may be getting scared that climate change is somehow going to bring the world to an end, and that's not a good thing. So one of the solutions is to always talk about solutions. I'll just give you a brief idea of what I like, but there are many ways to do this. This is about renewable energy, showing from 1912 to 2018. This must be from the International Energy Agency. I should have put this somewhere, but nonetheless, annual additions of renewable power capacity by technology and total between 2012 2018. So here is the total production of 181 gigawatts. So this is total gigawatts on the scale on the right here. So this is solar PV, wind power, hydropower, biopower, geothermal, ocean, and carbon sequestration ideas. So these are the different portfolios for each year, and the main point to make is, of course, to argue that the total renewable power contribution has increased. You can always make this negative and say that's not enough, and it does get done a lot. And it is true, scientifically speaking, if you determine based on whatever arguments that 2 degrees centigrade is a scale, its threshold we don't want to cross, then you can look at this growth in renewables and say that's not enough to get there by, let's say, 2050 or so. Nonetheless, the positive message is that we are aware and we are increasing renewable contributions. Other details like electrical car global stock in the top 5 countries and the rest of the world between 2014 and 2018. You can see that the UK, Japan, Norway, US and China. Too bad India is not on this scale yet. Rest of the world, which includes India. So again, China has gone gangbusters on increasing electrical vehicles. Norway, relative to the population size, that's pretty good. These are in millions of cars over here. Okay, US and UK. We have gone to 5 million electric cars and 260 million electric two-wheelers. Almost all of them are in China. If you go to any city in China, you will see thousands of them just running around like rats on the streets, and they hardly make any noise, and they are of course very clean. Okay, I love this site, Project Drawdown, which provides a very comprehensive list of solutions. So you can see it talks about CO2 equivalent to be saved, more than a billion gigatons. So that's getting into trillions of tons, which is significant in terms of drawdown. The cost is about 30 trillion, but they also estimate the savings we would get from that, including the impacts on crop yields, health, labor lost, and so on and so forth, would be almost 75 trillion tons. That is to show you that if we invest about 30 trillion tons to improve all these things, we would get a savings of 75 trillion tons. Okay, we'll see next what the cost is in terms of the climate change on various countries. So here you have refrigeration, wind turbines, reduced food waste, plant-rich diet, tropical forests, saving forests and reducing emissions, educating girls, another favorite topic of mine, especially for a country like India and other developing countries in terms of reducing population. But it's also now known that wherever there are female leaders, the countries with female leaders did much better in managing COVID, for example, New Zealand, Germany, and so on. And they also bring more choices in terms of family finance for climate change action, etc. Okay, family planning, solar farms, silvopasture, those are kind of managing vegetation and biodiversity, rooftop solar, regenerative agriculture, tree intercropping or agroforestry, conservation agriculture, offshore wind turbines, farmland restorations as soil carbon sequestration methods, improved rice cultivation in terms of reducing methane emissions, concentrated solar as opposed to rooftops, electrical vehicles, hybrid plugged-in hybrids and battery operated, district heating, multi-strata agroforestry, waves and tidal energy. So it's a very comprehensive list. Now, to look at the economic motivations for taking climate action, obviously message has to be very clear. This is the global nonlinear effect of temperature on economic production. So there is data that shows something like 13 degrees centigrade maximizes human productivity. Everybody likes mild temperatures. The bad news, of course, here is that the countries which have no change or increase in productivity are all the so-called global north. And the countries that have all the negative numbers in terms of economic production are in the global south. Okay? This makes it very difficult to get global agreements if Russia is going to have huge positive impacts on its economic production because of global warming. What are the chances that it's going to be part of the negotiations which would affect its energy and its lifestyle and so on? Okay, and of course bad news for global south is that we need everybody to be part of the global solution. So that raises the challenge of climate change science communication to another level, right? But nonetheless, solutions, if green technology markets are going to be about making money, then it changes the ball game completely. If US or Russia can corner green market and make money out of that, then you would reach the so-called enlightened self-interest over there, right? If they can produce electric vehicles, solar cells, fuel cells, nuclear reactors, whatever, to sell to make money, which would help the global south in terms of reduced climate change, global warming, that would be win-win.